Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about a lot of different changes going on at Stellantis. So first of all, I wrote this article this morning. Well, actually I wrote it last night for this morning. And it basically went through that Stellantis Chairman John Elkann actually met with then President-elect Donald Trump just a couple days before the inauguration on Monday to talk about the automaker. And according to various media sources, they actually talked twice. They had two really good conversations, basically going over that how Trump's tariffs will affect Stellantis. And a lot of people don't know this, but 40% of the vehicles that Stellantis sells here in the U.S. come from both the Mexican market and Canadian markets. So I mean, we got everything from Ram heavy-duty trucks, ProMaster vans, Wagoneer S, the upcoming Recon, and the Jeep Compass coming from Mexico at the moment. And then we have the Chrysler Voyager, we have the Chrysler Pacifica, the Dodge Charger, and the next generation Jeep Compass coming from Canada. So that's a lot of vehicles. 40% of what we buy here is coming from outside the U.S. in either Mexico or Canada. So it was very important for Elkann to talk with Trump's administration team and figure out what's going on with policies and changes. And they know about the EV mandate being cut. And Elkann basically said, hey, we remain committed to sustainable mobility within aligning the market's demands and evolving policies. So we know that Stellantis has had a plan for a while. They've just been pushing the EV thing. But it sounds like, obviously we've got the Charger 6-pack coming out this summer. So that will be a huge boost for Charger sales because not many people are interested in the EVs. We have the new Cherokee coming out next year, and that's going to be a hybrid, not an all-EV. The new Wagoneer S has just hit the market, and that actually looks pretty promising, but it's strictly EV. And we don't think it's going to come other than, an electric vehicle, powertrain. And then we've seen that the new upcoming Recon, which is due to start production next month, is going to be battery electric at first, and then eventually get a hybrid model. So very interesting stuff there. But again, with Stellantis, they're really trying to be proactive. They don't have a CEO right now, but John Elkann's really trying to correct what Carlos Tavares did prior to Trump coming into office. So kind of good news that we heard about that. But then I posted that this morning, and right after that we got multiple media outlets running that there was an internal memo sent within the company, and it was from Antonio Filosa, the Chief Operating Officer for North America and the Jeep CEO, talking about the company's plans to basically build this new mid-sized truck after all. So I spent a lot of time on the phone talking to somebody from Belvidere today. I talked to somebody from internally from Chrysler, and I talked to a couple other people about stuff what was going on, trying to get some more ideas on it. And I'm not going to go in depth about the mid-sized truck or anything in this video, but I want to go over its overall plans of what was announced in this memo, because I actually got the memo, and I wanted to go through and read or tell you what I wrote about it. And there was a couple surprises in there that I was pretty shocked. But I want to talk about some other stuff, what I've heard, what was going on. So first of all, the midsize truck, we heard it was delayed until 2028. It was pushed back. Tim Kuniskis come on board with Ram, and this was one of his pet projects, and he really wants to see a midsize truck. We've been teased since 2021 about this midsize truck, and it sounds like one of their things to Trump was Belvidere. Belvidere was a huge blow up with the legislature about them joining with the UAW and really pushing Stellantis to open the plant and do it on time to basically back their original agreement with the UAW, and it sounds like Stellantis is. Now I talked to somebody from Belvidere today, and they were shocked because Belvidere employees found out last night that this was happening. Originally, they thought that the pickup truck was going somewhere else. Some higher-ups in the UAW were hearing that the truck could have gone to Toledo South. And the Gladiator would have been moved to the Wrangler production line. So this was huge news for them. There's, at least 800 workers that are on standby right now from at Stellantis, waiting to come back to work at Belvidere. But there's going to be a lot of things going on at the plant in the next year, because this vehicle isn't going to be out until 2027. So keep that in mind. So these guys have been off since 2023. This is a huge deal for this plant, because a lot of people are ready to come back to work. They've been off. They're still getting paid, but they're waiting to come back. And then, that was a big shocker for them. But the big concern for the people at Belvidere, what I talked to somebody at Belvidere today, they said the biggest concern is the fact that it's only one vehicle that's been, confirmed to come back. The problem with the last generation Jeep Cherokee was they got it in 2017 after they decided to build the Gladiator at Toledo. But the problem was when COVID hit, during the pandemic, they had all these supplier issues and stuff. And the plant that got hit the most out of all the vehicles in the lineup was the Cherokee. And so they spent more downtime than they did production time. And it really affected the vehicle and the staff there, because, it was like a day-by-day basis if they're going to be shut down or not. So Belvidere has been known to build multiple vehicles. Before the Cherokee in 2017, they were building the Dart. They were building the Jeep Patriot and Jeep Compass. So they really want multiple vehicles at that plant. So being a Stella Large vehicle that we know like this pickup's going to be, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens to Belvidere. But that's their biggest concern. And we'll talk more about that in the next video. And then we heard about, they're going to invest in some of the plants. Two of the plants that we know about that they're investing in is Toledo. Now, while we heard that the pickup would probably go there from some of my sources, the interesting thing is Gladiator production and Wrangler production is going to stay where they are. They're going to continue on. So what they're investing in is new technologies and product enhancements. And what those are is what I can... More than likely, this is the new 4xe models that are coming out. So the Wrangler 4xe is going to get an update, not just the vehicle, but I'm talking about the powertrain. And the powertrain is supposed to get an update for, I think, 2026. So what those updates are, we don't know. We don't know if it's a bigger battery pack. We don't know. We're not sure. But the Gladiator 4xe will join the lineup and have those same new updates going forward. So whether it be a new version of the 2-liter 4-cylinder under the hood, we don't know yet. Speaking of the 2-liter 4-cylinder, the GME T4 engine, they also announced that they're going to basically invest more money into Kokomo, Indiana for a new 4-cylinder engine. Now, the only 4-cylinder... Now, you got to keep in mind that Kokomo right now builds the GME T4, and there's a new generation of that engine coming forward in 2026. And that is the new Evo engines, the GME T4 Evo. And what these engines are is they're updated, but they're also going to have more horsepower. So we're supposed to have a standard output and a high output motor, just like the Hurricane engines. Now, with that being said, the new Evo motor is supposed to make its debut in the 2026 Jeep Grand Cherokee. The Jeep Grand Cherokee will get rid of the Pentastar, according to our sources, and will eventually just adopt across the board 4-cylinders. So obviously it's going to have a 4xe model. That's already a 4-cylinder. But no more Pentastars. Doesn't matter if you buy the 3-row L. Doesn't matter if you buy the 2-row standard version. It's all going to have 4-cylinders on the hood. The good news is with this Evo engine is we're hearing that it will make better horsepower and torque numbers probably than the Pentastar engine. And that's in the standard output model. Towing should be about the same, if not a little bit more. And hopefully, it'll be getting better fuel economy. So we've already seen spy photos on Mopar Insiders of this new Jeep, and the interior getting a very minor update, but it looks very promising. So with that being said, the biggest shocker of the whole ordeal was the fact that the Dodge Durango, which is currently built at the Jefferson Avenue plant, or Jefferson North, or if you want to get technical, Detroit Assembly Complex Jefferson. They originally there was rumors going around over the summer, or last summer I should say, that that vehicle would be moving to Windsor. However, today we were surprised to find out that in the letter it originally said that they were thinking about moving it to Mexico, to Toluca, Mexico, to join the next generation, to be with the Wagoneer S and the Recon and the new Cherokee. So that was very interesting to read that. That was something nobody had ever talked about, no one had ever heard, and according to everybody I talked to, they had no idea. Everything was rumored to be Windsor, including the UAW thought that. So nothing had been talked about Mexico. But after talking to Trump, it sounds like the Durango will stay in Detroit as the only Dodge built in the U.S. So we heard a little bit about Ram, we heard a little bit about Jeep today, and we heard something about a Dodge. Now, the only thing we didn't hear about was Chrysler. And Chrysler is still on that pause with that new C6X crossover. According to my sources over at Windsor, the update for the 2026 model year with that slight refresh is still a go. The C6X is still scheduled apparently for Windsor, according to my sources that I talked to today. However, the whole program's been suspended until the end of the month, and we might hear something, because we heard this way earlier than what we originally thought. We might hear something on the new Chrysler crossover very soon, meaning like a powertrain change. It's doubtful that it will probably get a Hurricane engine. It's not supposed to be a performance vehicle so much as a family crossover, but we might see something like a hybrid model. We might see, maybe if it does get a Hurricane engine, we don't know yet. No one knows. So that's what they're trying to work out internally. So keep that in mind. There's nothing been confirmed, and my sources that are really close over there at Windsor basically said that they don't know yet. Everything's kind of up in the air, and they're waiting for corporate to make a decision. So nothing's been confirmed. So some positive news about the U.S. market, and the UAW workers, at least having positivity going forward with Belvidere being reopened. Hopefully Belvidere will get more products. We know Stellantis needs more affordable vehicles. Let's just hope that this new mid-sized truck isn't extremely pricey and kind of competes with the Ram 1500 like the original Dakota got at the end of its lifespan. So other than that, stay tuned. I'm going to talk about that mid-sized truck in another video, but make sure to hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.